Fuck Billy Joel and his mom and his fans. Okay. And the asshole that thought it would be a good idea to turn fucking Billy asshole Joel into a fucking Piano Man television series.
I will start with that news story, and you can do all that.
Yeah, I really fucking hate Billy Joel.
He's Long Island's favorite son.
He is.
Second favorite son, I should say.
Who's the first? Me?
It ought to be fucking Buck Dharma.
Oh, yeah, third favorite son.
Welcome to Red Salad Review. I'm here with Mr. Uncle Saxon, the police. Mr. Uncle Saxon.
And that is the sound of the police.
It is.
Much better, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
And the deceased Greg Noggle, he's here as well. And I'm Mr. Bowie. Wayne Newton.
Yeah, you are a space oddity there.
I am. Whoa, what the hell is that? Is that a whistle?
That was a tin can floating in your tin can.
Far above the world.
Even that was better than the police.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow. I love the police. They're a great band.
Well, that's another show.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Anything going on? Nothing? Great.
Nope.
Good. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We have part 2 of Billy Ray Valentine. So please stick around for that very cool interview that Greg missed.
Yeah. Fucking Skype.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to try something new tonight, and I totally forgot. Next week. Wait, I'm reading the wrong things here. What am I doing? Wrong show. So, some news. I know you love this guy, Greg. Billy Joel. They're working on a TV series. What do you think?
For shame, society. For shame.
I'm kind of interested in this. I'm not a Billy Joel fan, even though I'm from Long Island, and he is a Long Island boy, and he is a hometown hero. I don't know why. But, I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do with this. It's called Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Oh, good God.
Yep.
I hope it's the scene where Michael Corleone blows the cop's head off. The police.
That'd be pretty rad.
Well, it could be the scene where he smashed into a tree a few years ago. That could be the opening scene. The pilot episode.
Nah, that's probably that fucking prick caterwauling in some dive in Jersey writing that stupid song about Davy.
Just home from the Navy.
Well, unlike the recent rock-inspired success stories like Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant will show the real-life biography format instead create a scripted world based around the songs. Characters from Joel's work will be featured in the series, included the Stranger, the Piano Man, Mama Leone, and Sergeant O'Leary.
Hmm.
I'm gonna watch the first episode. It's interesting. Exactly.
Billy Joel really is a beautiful storyteller.
He is. He's a wonderful storyteller. I wish he would put me to bed at night and read me stories. No?
He sings like he's got diarrhea of the mouth. He tries to shove too much shit into one song, and he's got a really annoying voice. But
He does. I don't get the hype about him at all. I was at a winery a few years ago, and a Billy Joel song came on. And this guy in the corner, all of a sudden, he looks at me, and he goes, "Yeah, Billy Joel." And I'm like, no, sorry.
Yeah, no. He's very irritating.
Yeah. Moving along, Grateful Dead lyricist Robert Hunter dies at 78. I'm not a Grateful Dead fan. You guys?
No, I'm not a Grateful Dead fan. He was a really good lyricist, though. I will say I've read like books of his lyrics and shit like that, and pretty cool. But I just don't get into the whole hippie jam band thing. It's not interesting.
Yeah, me neither. I've tried and tried and tried. There's another thing I don't get is the Grateful Dead.
Yeah,
don't
me
get
neither.
it.
I don't know nothing about him.
Yeah, me neither. The news is very thin tonight. There's really nothing going on in anything, honestly. The only kind of metal thing is original Motorhead guitarist Larry Wallace dies at 70.
And the world asks,
who was, yeah. Well, he was on the first album, On Parole, which I guess didn't get released until what, like the second or third album came out or something like that?
Yeah, it came out after Bomber was already out in like 79.
Yeah.
They just did it to capitalize on the Motorhead name.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, it's neat to listen to, but the actual album with Eddie and Phil is a lot better.
Yeah.
Just a better, tighter unit.
Yeah. I like it. It's cool. It's cool to see. Yeah. It's cool to see how they started out, though. It's different. It's like how Rush started out. They didn't start out sounding, as progressive as they became.
No.
I
mean, I like shit like that from bands that I like, and that's why I have On Parole, but that's why I got those Expanded Death box sets. Most people wouldn't give a fuck, but it's cool to listen to the demos, which a real amazing part of is he played a lot of the instruments on some of them, everything completely by himself, but it's cool to hear the songs take shape.
Yeah. All right, cool.
The Prince of Death Metal.
Who's that?
Yep. Chuck Schindler.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was never a Death fan either. Man, I just don't like anything we're talking about tonight at all.
That's a shame. Everybody should have at least one Death album.
He's a good guitar player. I can't stand the way he sings. It just doesn't work for me. It's a shame because I like the music.
Towards the end is a little much for me. It's hard to listen to that full album, The Sound of Perseverance, in one sitting, but I still like it. But they're
really like Spiritual Healing.
Yeah, he'd like Spiritual Healing.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll give it a shot one day. Maybe we'll do it on the show one day.
Yeah. He might like Human a little bit more, actually.
Maybe. And other sad news. Something again I've never seen. Sid Haig from the movie, what the hell is that movie? Devil's Rejects.
Mm-hmm.
He died at 80 years old. I didn't know he was that old.
I liked him in those movies.
Yeah, he was pretty good in those. I like him in some of the older stuff I've seen him into, Galaxy of Terror. And,
he got a start.
I can't remember the other one right now. They're old Roger Corman B movies, but he was always a good character actor.
Yeah,
I just don't know a ton about the guy.
Yeah, I was just reading here. He got a start in horror movies in 1967. Spider Baby or The Maddest Story Ever Told.
Yep. Yeah.
Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 2, Night of the Living Dead 3D, Halloween, 2007's Halloween, The Lords of Salem, another Rob Zombie movie, and Bone Tomahawk. So that is the obituary version of Rat Salad.
Well, here's a interesting fact. Speaking of Sid Haig and Galaxy of Terror, which is basically a 1981 Roger Corman ripoff of Alien, but still entertaining nonetheless. You can see Aaron Moran. That's right, Joni from Happy Days get raped by a giant space worm.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why you'd want to see that, but okay.
Well, it's more like she's just kind of rubbing up against the giant worm puppet for a couple minutes while they're covered in vegetable oil, but
Yeah, not for me.
I don't need to see that.
No, I don't think so either.
I find it
Mrs. Cunningham, Marion Ross. I'd watch that shit.
All right. Anything else? Just a short intro for a show.
Yep. There's nothing going on, man.
There really isn't. I was really surprised. I thought stuff was going on, but nothing. Just people dying. Everybody's dead. That's what happens.
Avril Lavigne was great last night.
Oh, yes. How was your Avril Lavigne show? I almost forgot. There's your Uncle Saxon story.
Uncle Saxon, the year was 2019, yesterday. And I saw Avril Lavigne, and she was terrific. And that's all I got to say about it. And scene. Baby Metal on Saturday was fucking awesome. Yeah. And Teen and the B-Sides on Friday was probably the best of the whole 5-day period. 3 shows in 5 days. That's not too bad, huh?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I don't do 5 shows in a year. Or 3 shows in a year. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not even 1.
Melissa got kudos up and down from one of the new companies she's working for, so they're just going to throw tons of work at her now.
Awesome. That's good.
So, she's running around in the trusses, being monkey girl, 30 feet in the air.
Sounds cool. So did Avril play all her hits?
Yeah. Yep.
You sing along?
I had community service yesterday, and I you know what I ended up doing?
What?
There was like 9 of us, and we all had these huge grinders, and we're grinding the puck marks off the boards in an ice arena.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 6 hours of that, and I was really fucking sore, man. So I just kind of stood there bobbing my head for Avril.
What happens at the what's that? The Bonzoni or whatever else? What is it called?
The Zamboni just polishes the ice.
Oh, it doesn't get rid of the marks?
Nope. No. Not on the boards.
Oh, that sucks.
So,
sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was not.
I couldn't even think of one Avril Lavigne song.
Complicated.
Skater Boy.
Oh yeah, Skater Boy.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
My friend, head above water.
Another friend of mine loves Avril Lavigne too. So you're not alone. Was the place packed?
Oh, to the rafters.
Yeah.
It was me and 5,000 screaming teeny boppers, but it's what it is.
Really?
And Melissa. But she could pass for a screaming teeny bopper.
I'm surprised teeny boppers really know who she is, though. Like, what has she really put out since? God, I don't
came out with an album 6 months ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was going to say, she's still pretty popular there, Wayne. Really? I mean, I don't listen to it, but yeah.
Wow, I can't tell you the last time I've heard a song. Actually, the last song I probably heard was Skater Boy. That's how much I pay attention.
Yeah, they had some technical difficulties, so that was interesting, but whatever.
Like what?
One channel went out, so the whole right side of the stage didn't have any music coming out of it. Yeah. They had some piano issues, shit like that.
Did they actually have a piano player, or they had like a background?
She played half the time, and then the keyboardist played half the time.
Okay. So it sounded like some backup tape or something.
No.
That's cool.
Very cool. All live. Good tight band, though.
Very good. Anything else?
No.
All right. Then we will get right to Billy Ray Valentine.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Adios. Bye. What was I just going to say? We were talking about Sting earlier, and I was listening to your the Sting episode that you did with all the talk about the police kind of you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know. I
can't describe it. Yeah.
That
was a crazy episode.
It is it's great. That was Mark Devlin actually, and Mark Devlin is going to be at Shoot the Moon NYC.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. Yeah, and I think that's the first time I spoke to him when we did that episode, and he draws the CIA connections of Stuart Copeland, and the Copeland family, and where they come from, the military background of the Copeland family, and how many different musical acts they had their hands in. It's kind of crazy when you get to researching it. I'm not. You know what? Maybe one day I'll ask Mark to come and talk to you guys. Yeah. He has incredible freaking knowledge in all of this stuff. Like, I mean, I don't remember it as detailed as he does, but it's definitely through Stuart Copeland. You know that connection came through.
Yeah, I had to listen to that episode a couple of times because I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, that kind of makes sense. You know,
I don't know, it's crazy, man. And I was actually listening to one that I did with John Potash, in preparation for this because I wanted to, talk about Jimi Hendrix. And I was like, maybe I'll throw that in there. And I didn't remember the details of it because it had blown me away because I didn't really know about it until we did the show.
Right.
But Jimi Hendrix was potentially murdered by MI6, and I didn't know this. And, everybody gets the narrative that he OD'd on drugs.
Right.
May not be the truth. Apparently he had a MI6 handler. I think it was, God, I forget the guy's name now. I'm blanking on the guy's name. I'll get it. But it wasn't his manager. It was as soon as he was blowing up, this guy came into the picture. Turns out he's MI6. And, they tried to steer him away from any like anti-war, apparently Jimi Hendrix was very pro Black Panther and pro unity. And he had a ton of white fans and a ton of black fans, and they couldn't really have somebody in that position really, because everybody loved Jimmy. He was so cool, and his music was resonating with so many different people that they actually really got afraid and they threw a guy on him, and that's a handler in music. Everybody has a handler nowadays or whatever, but it started very early on, and he fired this guy. And 2 days after firing the guy, Jimi Hendrix dies. And damn it, I'm blanking on the guy's name. I'll get it for you guys though. And he was drunk a few times, and he quote unquote confessed to having had Jimi Hendrix killed as a result of all that other stuff or whatever. But they had somebody on him from the get. So I was listening to that episode. And that's CIA as weapons against us. I think drugs as weapons against us is the name of the documentary. And they went through Jimi Hendrix, The Doors. They went through some of the Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. Courtney Love, oh my gosh, she is like swimming in CIA connections. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Even that she was this is documented like in several biographies coming from her, like that she was prostituting for the Japanese mafia.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like, go look it up.
About that.
It's nuts. It's nuts what Courtney Love actually was. And it makes a lot of sense because Courtney Love had zero talent.
Right. Yeah,
Zero.
pretty much. Pretty much.
She's one of the
That hasn't stopped a lot of people, though.
You're right about that. In particular now.
America has fickle taste and talent.
Man, what I'm starting to come, not starting to it, but for a long time I've had this understanding is that America, and it's not just America, it's the developed world, and we're pretty much told what to like.
Right.
Yep.
I think so. Yep.
And we might genuinely like it, but it's put out there, and they're like, well, here are your choices. This is what you got to listen to. And,
especially when you're listening to the radio, like at work, right? And you listen to the radio, you hear one song come on in the morning, and like say you come back from lunch, and then you hear that same song again playing that you heard before you went to lunch. It's like, come on, there's something going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Go ahead. Sorry,
Jackson.
What?
You saying something? Oh, I thought you were saying something. Oh,
I can't say
something too.
Have you ever looked into the? See, I'm a big Bob Marley guy.
Yeah.
He's actually my inspiration for life.
Wow.
Have you ever looked into his conspiracy?
Oh man, yeah. There is actually a quite good documentary on Netflix right now. Have you seen it? Who Shot the Sheriff? I think that's the name of it. Watch it on Netflix. It's freaking phenomenal, and it details because they had a big problem with Bob Marley. They shot up as he was supposed to die. And he ended up coming out alive. And it's the same thing. When you root a lot of these artists, not just artists, just political figures like Martin Luther King, JFK, So many of these people, they were bringing people together,
right?
Just because they had such appeal with the entire masses, with everyone. Everyone loves Bob Marley universally. Yeah. Whether you're Latino, black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter. You love Bob Marley, like he was one of your own. And Bob Marley was all about the unity. He was all about bringing people together, and they offed him. They definitely tried for sure. The CIA was infiltrating Jamaica hard, and that could be an entire show. You need to watch this documentary. Actually, you know what? I'll send it over to you guys. Who Shot the Sheriff? I think it is. I'll look it up during the course of the interview and put it out there. I saw it about 4 or 5 months ago, but they do a really good job at documenting the CIA influences in Jamaica and the drug trade over there, because it's always about drugs, and how they hired people to kill Bob Marley. They wanted to kill him. I mean, Bob Marley ended up surviving, but there are also conspiracy theories, and this is where the circumstantial comes in, right? We don't know that so somehow he got fast acting cancer and just died, they don't know if it was injected into him, because there was something that happened with his toe. He was playing soccer, right? And one of his toes got infected, but they've claimed to have debunked that, but you just don't know. We don't know either way. Thing is, he got cancer and passed away. They achieved their goal. They were trying to kill this guy for a long time. But that documentary actually does a really good job at going into a lot of something is seriously up with the Bob Marley situation. They really wanted to get rid of him. I love Bob. It would have been, that's one of the few people that, like, I saw Prince live, but I didn't see Prince and the Revolution. I would have loved to have like a time machine to go back and see Prince and the Revolution, to go back and see Bob Marley. You know what I mean? Like if literally if I had access to something like that, take me to go see James Brown, or maybe the Stones at their height. Like when they were young and ruthless. They're still pretty ruthless, but I'd love to go see them. But Bob Marley, I love Bob. I'm gonna send that to you, Unc.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, please do. Have you ever seen Prince live, Saxon?
I have. Oh, go ahead.
People ask me what my 3 favorite concerts I've ever been to are, and I tell them Prince, and fucking Prince. Yeah, I've seen Prince, and that's the truth. He put on the best show. I'll put Prince up against Rage Against the Machine as far as performer goes. That guy, absolutely. He just held every person in that building captive with his talent. The greatest musical genius of our generation.
I agree. And I have arguments with people about this all the time. Because people talk about, Stevie Wonder, John Lennon. Actually, you know what? Jimi Hendrix and John Lennon. Jimi Hendrix was going to start a band with John Lennon. It's another guy that they killed. They killed John Lennon. And that's a hell of a conspiracy theory to go down. But Jimi Hendrix was going to start a band with him. Wow. I saw Prince in Madison Square Garden. I don't remember what year. It was very, very good. But it wasn't Prince and the Revolution, of course. But I think if I ever got to see Prince and the Revolution in like 84, 85, like I was a child, I was like 3 years old. If I had ever got to see that, man, I definitely think it could rival Rage Against the Machine, just based on stuff that I'm watching on YouTube or old concert footage. I'm like, my God, this must have been amazing. Yep. But I have arguments with people all the time about who the greatest of all time was, right? And Prince, some people just don't resonate with his music. That's fine. But the guy is just a freaking genius. He is just... He is a musical freaking genius, a musical genius. How many hits he can literally create an artist and make them. He did it for the time. He wrote everything Morris Day and the Time ever did. Yep. The biggest hits for the Bengals were written by Prince. Sheila E. Prince wrote that. Prince created it. It's almost like Prince created that scene, and he really was that scene. As I'm sure you know, Unc, that as part of his contract, right? He he had that he got to recruit, produce, and develop other musical acts as outlets for him because he was just pumping out so much music. And he wanted the Prince entity to be one thing, but he wanted to explore soul or something or rock, right? When he went to Purple Rain, but he still wanted to do the funk. So the time would do the funk, you know what I mean? And it was all Prince. Everything was Prince. Just on another level, that guy. I haven't seen a musical talent, definitely not since he's been alive, that even comes close.
What was the whole deal with him changing his name to that symbol? What was that all about?
I don't know. From what I remember, right, it was the whole dispute with Warner Brothers. He was a very... Oh,
was it? Okay.
Yeah, he was a very in-tuned guy when it came to spirituality for a certain... I mean, there's a bunch of people that called him a dick, too. You know, I never met Prince. A lot of people didn't really like him. He might have been a real asshole. Mm-hmm. But he knew a lot of, occultish type information. The guy wasn't an idiot by any stretch, and the symbols meant stuff to him. You know, he predicted 9/11. You know,
I remember hearing that in your show. Yeah,
yeah, he predicted 9/11. He must have known something. You know, when he died, and this was the most. I remember it when he passed away, and this just blew my mind. Was his avatars on Twitter? Because he had an avatar on Twitter with him and the tri-shade glasses, right? So it's one glass, 2, 3. He had a one for his third eye, and he was rocking these for a bit. Right. The new incarnation of Prince. Actually, I collect Funko Pops because I'm a geek, and I have the Prince Funko Pop with the 3 eyes, with the 3 eye shades. So when he passed, that was his avatar on Twitter, and when he passed away, it was changed instantly. So somebody knew. He was going to pass away. They knew he was sick. Something was up because instantly it changed, and the glasses came off, and his 2 eyes were closed, but his third eye was open. It was crazy.
Wow. That's weird.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was weird. And that's almost instant after he died. Some people report that it was right before he died. I don't know. I can't confirm that. Yeah. But he knew something. Something was up.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember on that show that you did, you were playing some things that he said during his concerts and stuff that, something was going to happen and things like that.
That's when he predicted 9/11, he was like, Osama bin Laden getting ready to bomb. He kept saying it, 2001, here we come. I was like, whoa, what do you do? What did he know? Right. Clearly he knew something right beforehand. You don't just say things like that.
Right.
You don't. So I don't know how to explain it, to be honest with you. And that's the sort of thing that makes you go, you're like, what was that? Why? And we may never get the answer. Probably we'll never know about 90% of the things that we explore on the Infinite Fringe or just on in the mainstream media, period.
Right.
We'll never get the full. We'll never know what the hell happened to Epstein.
Yeah.
We'll never know. But we can speculate all day long. And there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that will point in particular directions, and we can go there and we can make an educated guess as to what we think happened to him. We'll never know what really happened to him. Same thing with Prince, same thing with everybody else.
Yeah. I know you're a big David Bowie fan. Think anything happened to him?
That's my dude, man. I love Bowie. I loved him so much. When he passed, I remember it. It was January 16th, I think it was. I woke up to go to work, and I always turn on New York 1. I don't know if you get that out in Long Island.
No.
I don't get it anymore. I cut it off. I only have Sling TV. But I will, every morning I would turn on either New York 1 or Bronx Net. It's the same thing here, right?
Yeah.
And they said David Bowie passed away, and I was like, what? It could not, I had to see it again. I'm like, wait a minute. My wife is like, David Bowie died. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I had known that he was suffering from cancer.
Oh, really?
About a year or 2 years prior to him passing away. Because my sister knew this guy that would take him his medication.
Oh, wow.
And they told me, they were like, David Bowie is on some heavy medication for cancer. And I was like, yeah, whatever. We can't verify that. You know what I mean? We don't know. I mean, there's some dude just saying it.
Right. Yeah.
But it turned out to be, I mean, well, regardless whether it's true or not, the guy died of cancer.
Right.
So there you go. But I loved David Bowie. Like it was just Let's Dance was, and that's not his greatest song, but that's the song that I remember more than anything else because it just struck me. Yeah. Who was the dude that wrote that song? He wrote China Girl. He wrote a couple of others, man. I forget his name.
Oh, is it Brian Ferry?
No.
Was he involved in that?
No. I mean, he might have been involved, but it wasn't him that wrote it. It was the guy from Simpson. Gosh.
Greg would probably know.
He was in Chic. He wrote Good Times, Good.
Oh, Niles.
Yes, Niles Rodgers. Thank you.
Yes.
He wrote a large part of Let's Dance, the guitar part, anyway. And you can hear it there. And I was a big fan of what they did, like that disco sound. I dig disco. I think disco gets a bad rap. I'm making a lot of friends here today, man.
I don't know about that.
I think T-shirt. Disco gets a bad rap.
I think Billy Ray's time is up. Good night, Billy Ray.
It's time to go, ladies.
Good night, Bill.
nice note.
But yeah, so that sound, I mean, and apparently I wasn't the only one because David Bowie recruited this guy. He's a musical genius, Yeah. Niles Rodgers. And he wrote Let's Dance, and I was like, all right, I dig this a lot, and then the Labyrinth, of course, and all that other stuff. But as I matured, I started listening to his older stuff. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I only picked up Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars because music was already on the way down. And I was looking for something new. I was looking for something different. And I was like, all right, there was a 20th anniversary that came out, box set of Ziggy Stardust. And it was the Virgin Megastore here in Times Square. I used to live there, bro. I don't know if you ever got to see it, but it was beautiful, right? You walked in there, it was a music paradise. It had giant banners of all these albums and tons of CDs. I would sit there and go through them and just try to find imports and B-sides that you can't really find anywhere else. It was phenomenal.
That place was awesome.
It was awesome. So I picked up this album and I started listening to it. And first song was 5 years. It's like, oh my God. Like, I was like, where has this been all my life? And then I just kept going and going and going. And I saw him live. I don't remember the year, man. I have the ticket stub. But at Queens College, I saw him live. He did a tour of New York. He did the Bronx. He did Jimmy's Bronx Cafe. And I couldn't get tickets. I mean, the place is Jimmy's Bronx Cafe held like 60 people or something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't get tickets. He did CBGB's here in Manhattan. I couldn't get tickets. Wow. I think he did the Stone Pony in Jersey. He did some legendary spot in Staten Island. I don't remember what the name of it was. And in Queens, he did Queens College. And I was able to get one ticket at Queens College. And I went and saw him there. He played for 3 hours. It was fantastic.
What year was that?
I don't remember, man. I have the ticket stub, so I'd have to go back and see it. But I don't know, man. I don't remember, man. I really don't. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was during Heathen, when Heathen came out.
Oh, okay. So that's probably like
that tour.
2001-ish, maybe.
Yeah, it was that.
Yeah.
So fantastic stuff. And when he died, it kind of affected me. I was like, oh man, David Bowie passed away, but he was super occult, right? Yeah. And I learned that after the fact. The dude was pretty much a magician. Like, he would do rituals, man. Like, he wasn't what people make fun of other people for. David Bowie actually did, and he performed it on stage. He was trying to achieve certain things magically. He used to subscribe to Aleister Crowley, of course, and a lot of those philosophies, and he went down that road. Black Star, right? That album is like literally encoded. I think we'll be finding new things 50 years from now.
I heard about that. Yeah,
it's ridiculous, and that's the way he wanted to go out. He went out like a G. Yeah. He really did. Like, he knew he was gonna die. He's like, let me make this phenomenal album. Lazarus is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard in my life. I love incredibly depressing music. This is why I love Radiohead, and that song is just pretty depressing. but that the videos are encoded, and we've gone through some of it on the Fringe, I think.
Yeah.
But
that video that he did for that Lazarus song is
Lazarus and the Black Star. Yeah, they're all encoded, kind of telling you that he's gonna die. You know what I mean?
He's in the hospital or something in that video, right?
He was in a hospice, pretty much, I think.
Yeah.
And then it documents his career, kind of. You know, you see things from. He picks Major Tom, like you see Major Tom dead in the the Black Star video. You know, there's a skeleton there with a Major's uniform on. It's pretty much Major Tom. You know, so he just sprinkles it all through. The guy was a freaking genius, man. So I have a lot of his albums. I can't tell you that I like all of them. I just have them because I wanted to listen to them and see what was going on. But there's enough in a lot of this stuff that I really dig.
Yeah. There was a period in time in like the 90s, the mid 90s or whatever, when grunge was starting to get big, and that's when he kind of like went off into like this industrial kind of sound, and he just went completely far away from what he was known to do.
I didn't dig that, but then I did. I didn't want to like Earthling. I didn't want to like it. I didn't like Nine Inch Nails either, and Trent Reznor had a lot to do with Earthling.
Yeah, okay.
And a year later, I started really getting into it. Yeah, Earthling is a very underrated album. It's not for everyone. It's really not. And I understand it was that niche sound of the 90s.
Yep.
You know, and every era has it. Yeah. You know, Trent Reznor was instrumental in that. So if you don't like Nine Inch Nails, you're probably not going to like Earthling. But
very electronic sound.
Yeah, very electronic sound. It's an iconic cover. With him standing there with the British flag, trench coat, turned around, and they had a I don't know if you got to see it, but they had like a David Bowie exhibit here in the city.
Oh, really?
And they put that on display. The coat. I didn't get to see it myself, but I know a lot of people that did, that went around to go see it, and it was phenomenal, man.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
When was that?
It was last summer, I think, bro.
Oh, really? Is that?
Yeah, it wasn't long ago.
So it was, I guess, a tribute to when he died, then, I guess.
Or something like that. Yeah, I forget exactly what it was. I really wanted to go out there, and I guess I'm not the greatest David Bowie fan because I didn't make it.
That's all right.
But I wanted to. Yeah.
You still got some of his albums. That's all that matters.
I like Earthling. Nobody else does. Okay, so I guess that counts for something.
Yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. We had a lot of fun talking to you. We actually did a show with your buddy Big Ray a couple days ago. The Impact Attack.
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, he was a real pain in the ass. I never want to see that guy ever again.
I believe it. My man Big Ray. What's up, buddy? What did he talk about? My gosh.
Oh my! I don't think we let him talk, did we? No, yeah, he talked a lot. I don't know. We just did a lot of nonsense. It was pretty fun. But he wanted you to talk about some Gap stories you and him had.
Oh God! Oh my God! Give me just a second.
We had him on at 3:00 in the morning, too. By the
way, you guys stayed up till 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, I was up till 4. Yeah.
My gosh! Hey, we're going to a show together, hands down. All right, we're doing this.
Let me know.
Uncle,
I'll go with you.
Are you close?
Minneapolis, buddy.
Oh man, no.
Yeah, they're a bit of a drive.
We'll figure it out. Now I know why you're such a big fan of Prince. When the Revolution is together and they're performing out there, I'll take a flight. I'll call you up and we'll go see the Revolution. That'll be freaking.
I saw them last summer and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
And they went on to, man, I missed that tour. They came here and I had something to do and I couldn't do. I don't even want to talk about it, man. I'm very I met Big Ray at the Gap. Yeah. Right. And this is the Gap at the World Trade Center.
Right, yeah.
This is part of the reason why the World Trade Center is such dear to my heart. I did a lot of things around there. I went to high school across the street from the Trade Center. I had my first job across the street from the Trade Center. I worked inside the Trade Center. I did so many things. I loved the Trade Center area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, but anyway, I met his ass there, and he was a security guard. And one time, I'll tell you this, I saw him chase some dude down the street. He freaking did it. He's a maniac. Somebody was trying to steal something, and I don't even think he wanted to get the merchandise back. He just wanted to hurt this guy, and freaking took off. I'm like, Ray, get back here, and he freaking took off. Ray's a big dude, man, and he's fast too. So he's a scary dude. So I saw that. He wanted to be a pro wrestler. His name was Ray Rockefeller, and he still says, like, how do you remember that? I'm like, how can I forget? He used to tell me all the time. He used to be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be a pro wrestler. I'm like, really? You're gonna be a pro wrestler? He's like, yeah, man, yeah. He's like, my father used to be a pro wrestler. I'm gonna be a pro wrestler. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what's gonna be your name? He's like, Ray. He's like, Ray Rockefeller. Like, get it? Rockefeller. I'm like, yeah, I get it, Ray. I get it, man.
Rockefeller.
Ray Rockefeller. No, but he was he's still a cool dude, man. He got into a lot of things in those fitting rooms. Don't do stuff in those fitting rooms, guys. I mean, don't ever go into a gat fitting room, man. The things that go on there, you don't.
He told us some stories, but I don't want you to say it on air. Yeah. You can tell me off air.
Yeah, don't. Nah, man. That what else? I mean, I don't know what else I can tell you. But we met there, and it's funny how life comes around, right? Because we fell out of contact.
Yeah.
I took off before 9/11. I think I took off at 2000, and then Ray was transferred to a different store anyway. Yeah. We were cool, but we didn't, we didn't stay in contact. I think I saw him once around my area where I used to live. We bumped into each other. I'm like, yo, Ray, what's up? But we started talking. But then he started working with Bill Apter at OneWrestling.com.
Right.
And I was doing a PW Hustle.
Right.
Just independently of each other. And I was already hating the WWE because it was bad. So
it hasn't gotten any better.
And then it's gotten worse. Yeah. So I started, I didn't watch a pay-per-view, and I'm looking for reviews to somebody could tell me of what was happening, and I bump into Ray. I'm like, what the fuck is this Ray? Is this Ray? And I'm like, my God, look at this guy. I'm like, he's working for OneWrestling.com. So I reach out to him, and I created a Twitter account, and then I was going to take it down right afterwards. And he was like, no, don't take it down. You're going to need that. I'm like, all right, man. And, he started listening to what we were doing on the Hustle, and he came over and joined us, and then he put us on OneWrestling.com, and here we are. So that's the way life goes, man. You never know who you're going to meet and what they're going to affect later on. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy. And it's happened in my life so many different times. So I just appreciate people. You see them once, and you never know how they're going to affect you later on down the road. So I try to just soak in every time I'm with somebody. Like I'm with you guys, and it's freaking phenomenal. And I mean, I pissed off the other guy because I said 9 Inch Nails. I'm sorry.
No, he's been texting me. He's been trying to get back in, but
I know. I'm kidding.
You know the Skype issue. You guys have Skype issues all the time. So
I don't even want to talk about Skype, but yeah, man, like it's just funny how life comes around. So that's what it is. So now Ray and I are a part of Hami Media, and I mean, I don't foresee a future where I'm not friends with Ray. You know what I mean? Like we talk all the time about nonsense. 9 times out of 10, we're just insulting each other. But it's what we do.
Yeah, very cool. All right, well, tell us about the Shoot the Moon documentary thing you got going on in October.
Are you coming? What? Are you coming?
Am I coming?
Are you coming?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Come on.
I would like to.
Come on, I'll let you in for free. Come on. You gotta come. You're in Long Island. You have no excuse.
I know. I don't. I know.
0. Shoot the Moon NYC. You don't even have to show for the whole thing. Just show up, say what's up, man. Sit down. You know what I mean? Shake hands. I'll buy you a beer. I don't drink, but
me neither.
I'll buy you a beer. Oh, fine. I'll buy you a water. Anyway, Shoot the Moon NYC. We're doing a conference, man, and it's another thing I never thought I'd be doing. You know what I mean? You just put it out there, and boom, all of a sudden it happens. Right. Mark Devlin is coming over from the UK, and he's going to give a talk on the 70s music scene in New York City. Okay. And how, I don't know what he's linking it into, but he's getting into Studio 54 and a bunch of that stuff. Okay. So it's going to be interesting. He's coming all the way from the UK. We don't get to see Mark Devlin over here very often. So that's a good thing. John Brissom, my boy, is coming up from North Carolina, and he's going to give a talk on the truth movement and how it's been co-opted in a lot of ways, and how we're being manipulated to believe certain things from different people, and all that stuff. Wayne McCroy is coming from deep in Pennsylvania, and he's going to give a talk on transhumanism, most likely, not 100% on that, but that's what he writes about, you know, and the autism epidemic and all this other stuff. So he's coming, of course. Crow 777 and Jason Lingram, they're gonna screen their film, Shoot the Moon. That's what it's called, Shoot the Moon NYC. And then there's gonna be a Q&A right after that. Man, we already have a decent amount of tickets sold, man. I'm very excited because I didn't know how many people were gonna show up to this. I really didn't. Right. You know, and whatever. Like I'm not one that really cares about money. I put it on my credit card and deal with it later. And it's paid for itself at this point, and it's awesome. And I'm just glad that people are interested and they're coming down. It's gonna be a nice crowd. We're gonna have freaking fun. We're gonna have fun. I'm very much looking forward to it. Now that the anxiety of are people gonna come is gone. People are coming, you know. So I'm very happy. I'm way more excited about it. You know, I'm gonna be there. Maybe Ray will be there. We might get some of the horsemen there. It's gonna be a fun time. You know, we might get Mr. Moon. You know, come.
I will try. I will try.
You know, come on.
When you guys announced it, I was like, I really do want to come. We'll see what happens.
All right. I won't hold it against you if you don't. But if you do, let me know. Hit me up, man.
I definitely will. I'm really, I saw it. I'm really glad you came on. Like I say, I love your show, and I love hearing your stories and stuff. And glad you came on.
Man, thank you for listening. I appreciate the hell out of it. Yeah. And thank you for inviting me on, both of you guys, man. I had a blast, man. And
you're an interesting guy, man. You're an interesting fellow.
I don't know about that, but but I definitely like to talk music. I could talk music all freaking day long. You know, I'll talk to you about the disco scene and how awesome it was.
Wow, that's a whole other show.
and you guys disown me. But yeah, man, it's such a beautiful thing. Music can make you cry and it can make you happy at the same time. It can make you angry. You want to bash somebody's head in, you know, or it can make you want to slam dance, you know, mosh. I've been in several mosh pits in my life. Fun. One time, I'll tell you one thing before we take off. I went to go see Seven Dust. It was Seven Dust, Static X, Chevelle, and I forget there was another band. It was 4 bands. Forget the other band, whatever. So Seven Dust comes on, and they were headlining. I'm like, yup, it's time. I forgot what song came on, and we were like, screw it, going to the pit. Me, A-Track Brown, a couple of other people. We're in the pit, losing our minds. Somebody is, of course, body surfing, but they either threw him up in the air and didn't catch him, or he jumped and anyway, his foot hit my head. It just like, and I literally dazed back and forth. I didn't fall because I think A-Track held me up. He said, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. I think I'm fine. I'm fine." And we kept going. But that was a close call. Yeah. And that was the worst I've ever got hurt at a mosh. But I'll do it again, man. If Rage Against the Machine gets back together, boy, we are moshing. It's gonna be freaking great. You know what I mean? Like
you're never going to catch me in the mosh pit.
Come on. You're never going to catch me outside the mosh pit. I'm 50 years old, and I was in the pit at TRI last week.
What I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Unc. I knew I liked you for a reason.
I was stuck on the guardrail at a Life of Agony show in New Jersey, and they started a pit, and my friend got his ribs broken, and I got out of there.
Oh, one time, I was at Woodstock 99. I was there with A-Track Brown, a couple of my friends. And A-Track just freaking loses it. I don't know what happened to him. He falls on the ground. And this is Woodstock 99 now. There were 50, 60, 70,000 people out there. We're working our way to the front to go see Rage Against the Machine because it was Dave Matthews, right, performed. Then it was Alanis Morissette. After Alanis Morissette, it was Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, Metallica. Somebody was gonna die. Like, you know, and Limp Bizkit did their best to start a riot. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen, and I hated Limp Bizkit. I hated them, but I loved them that day. Like, even looking back, it's like, wow, what a live performance they put on. So much energy. I love energy on stage, and they ripped it. Those were incredible musicians. I was never a big fan of Fred Durst, But the musicianship of Limp Bizkit, oh my God.
All right.
But anyway, H. Brown gets kicked in the stomach, I think. Something happens, and one guy goes, "Hey, man, this guy's dead, man." And everybody, like, just spreads out. So it's a big circle. A-Track's laying in the middle of it. My friend just pick him up. Me and my friend pick him up and hoist him over a guardrail that was there. I don't know if it was like they were doing the sound system or it was a medical thing. I'm not sure. We just threw him over there, and we went over there too as a result. And we had the best seats in the house for a while because no one was bothering us. Everybody was going nuts, and I'm on top of this thing with a clear view of Limp Bizkit. Only bad part is we had to take track back to the tents, so I missed the beginning of Rage Against the Machine, and I wanted to shoot him for it. But I got back out there, and then we got there for the full Metallica set. We had fun. Woodstock was amazing. I miss real music so much. I really do.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, where can people hear the Infinite Fringe, Billy?
You can find me on Truth Frequency Radio Live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find me on iHeartRadio Live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern as well. TuneIn Radio, same thing. hackerhameen.podbeam.com, right? The Hacker Media Group. You can find it there, the podcast streams. Now, sometimes there's different shows on TFR than on Hacker Media. I try to do that. I did that all summer. I don't think I could do it anymore, actually. So, because I'm kind of busy now. So it'll probably be the same show. I have another show coming out at some point. I can't really get into it right now. I need approval for it, but that's gonna happen. And you can find me over at theinfinitefringe.podbeam.com. The Infinite Fringe on iTunes. Take it on the go with you. Download it. Give me a 5-star rating if you like it, and if you hate it, send it to somebody that does like it so they can give me a 5-star rating. Okay?
Exactly. Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Billy, for coming on. Really appreciate it. You're a lot of fun. Awesome guy.
You guys. Appreciate you guys, man.
All right.
Good times.
Yep. All right, Billy. Have a good night.
Very
Take
cool.
Care.
Guys, I enjoyed the hell out of it, man. We're gonna have you guys on a Wednesday locker room. Let's pick a day when you guys can do it. Well, it's only Wednesdays. I mean Tuesday nights, sorry. But if you guys are interested in coming on, Bello loved you guys. Had nothing but good things to say about you guys, man.
Yeah, Bello's a cool guy. Yep.
Yeah, Bello is a cool guy. Don't tell him I said that. But you guys should come on, man. We'll kick it. We'll have fun, man. It'll be cool. We'll send you guys some dates, and if you guys can make it, great. Mr. Moon, you got to come. It's named after you.
I
Shoot
know.
the moon.
No, noon, not moon.
It's not moon?
Clues. No, it's noon, like 12 o'clock noon.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been calling you Peter Moon this entire time.
Yeah. Oh, you have been? Well, I can't really hear you, so.
That's
I can hear you, but it sounds like.
I know what you mean. I have that accent that it.
Yeah. It sounds like either or. Doesn't matter.
Well, it's fine then.
Well, now you know.
I like Moon better. Oh, Noon is fine. Noon is cool. Is that your real name?
Yeah.
That's an awesome real name.
That is
because it sounds like a rock and roll name.
Does it really?
I thought it did. Like I would have sworn for sure that.
Well, there was that drummer Peter Noon. So
yeah.
Wait, was he a drummer? I don't remember.
I don't know the name.
I know there is a Peter Noon. I don't know. It doesn't sound. It doesn't sound rock to me.
Thank you.
See you guys.
All right.
All right. Awesome, Billy. Thank you very much. And yeah, send us dates and we'll come on.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Anything you need, hit me up, okay?
Very cool. We'll do.
We're going to shows. We're doing this. Later, buddy.
Let me know. See you later. All right. Hope you enjoyed Billy Ray Valentine. Did you take a shower before we came on here?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, so join us next week.
Still sounds better than police.
All right, so join us next week. Next week we will have Patrick Scott on. Scott
will
on. That sounds like Patrick Scott on, but we will have Patrick Scott on the show.
Scott on. Scott on.
Oh yeah, Scott will be on.
Scott will be on the show. He will be Scott. He will be talking about Lars Ulrich and Metallica and some Megadeth, Dave Mustaine stuff. So very cool little interview.
Yep.
We weren't sure what we were going to talk about, but when we got talking, it went fairly well, I think. Very informative stuff. So definitely give that a check out, and that'll be another 2-part episode. And we will see you then. RatSaddleReview.com. Don't forget the Hameen Media Group. Go check them out. And we will have actually some more guests from their network on. We got Michael Jargo. We talk about Halloween. And then we're going to do album versus album with Big Ray. And what the hell's the other guy? Oh, Matt Schaffer's coming on to do another album versus album. So check that out. Subscribe to our show. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.